There we go.
Are we live?
We are, yeah.
Yay!
There you go, siblings.
It's been a long time
What's that?
coming.
Wow. Yeah, it's been a
Yeah,
long
so-
time in the making.
Yeah, so we're here.
Yeah,
I'm really dark, aren't I?
you are dark.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
To be fair, that's probably a good thing because you don't look too good.
Oh, harsh.
Oh,
Harsh but fair.
Really
oh,
hurt.
oh.
I've definitely had better days.
The truth does hurt.
It does,
It
see?
says-
Very quick, Claire. Well done.
Thank you.
See? That's it. So,
So, here we
we
go.
were going to talk about the Met Police.
Mm.
Yeah.
And full disclosure, Claire's son is a police officer.
Yeah. Thanks for that.
So,
Yeah.
just to be
How long
fair.
has he been police officer now, Claire?
Ooh,
3 years, isn't it? 2
I want to
years?
say 3 years.
God, that's gone
Yeah.
really quick.
Yeah, it has gone quick, but yeah, I want to say 3 years. He might tell me different, but I'm sure it is.
No, because he done all the training in the pandemic, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. Yeah, so
Yeah.
it must be 3 years. Getting on for 3
Yeah,
years
that's
anyway.
gone really quick.
It has gone
Yeah.
quick. Yeah, yeah.
So,
Yeah, what
Yeah,
do we think
so-
about all this?
Billy was just saying that there's been another one arrested up north somewhere now.
No.
Yeah, another one for what was it?
interfering with a child.
Interfering with a child.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I'm just trying to get the story up now.
Yeah.
How on earth are we supposed to... Where do you
know.
go?
Where'd you go? Who do you trust? You know, you're going to call 999 and one of these arseholes are going to turn up.
Yeah.
You know?
Officer charged with sexual assault.
Mm. The thing is, like, you tell your kids, don't you, if you're in trouble, if you see a policeman, go to the policeman, you know, because that's your safe space, right? Well,
Yeah,
that's not the case anymore, is it?
No.
Well, no, it's even that the head teacher of a private school in London,
Yeah,
a girls' school, a really upmarket school in Marylebone,
yeah.
has told her students if a male lone police officer approaches you, find help.
Mm.
Now that's really sad,
Well,
isn't it?
It's sad. It's tragic. It's really tragic. But yeah, who do you trust? Who do you trust now?
But the thing is, they reckon it was going on for years.
Yeah.
So
course
you
it was.
think
It
the amount of them, and they reckon they're going to charge one a week now, or they're going to take one
Yeah,
a week.
that's what I'm saying earlier on to these is that I'd read who's the new head of the Met? I can't remember his name.
Mark Rowley.
Mark Rowley. Yeah. So he said he's going to make sure he's going to hunt them down until he can arrest one a week.
But this has also been going on for years.
Yeah. Of course it has.
And how is he going to find them? If no one's reporting it, how is he going to?
But you know, that's the funny thing, because I've heard that even when people hear things going on, they're petrified to report it, because if it doesn't go the right way, you're the one in the firing line.
Yeah,
You know?
and your name is then tainted for a really long time.
Yeah, of course it is. Of course it is.
Yes,
So you
but-
can kind of understand why people sort of let it go over their heads and they hear things. And I mean, it's the racism as well, the misogyny, you know, and it's awful. It's rife. It is rife. So,
But
but I don't remember.
To think it's been going on for years. To think it's been going on for years, and I mean, they even had that. I don't know whether it was a chief superintendent or someone high up who killed himself 2-3 weeks ago because they were onto him in this paedophile ring.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, these poor kids think they're safe when they're you know, found.
Targets.
And
Huh?
They're targets.
Yeah, they are. It's awful.
A lot of people.
But it's the like you say, it's the trust that people have got in them, kids, especially kids, and it's the power, isn't it? I mean, when you're a 12, 11-year-old and you're in the street and a police officer says, "You come here,"
Yeah.
the first thing you do is go over there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But do you know what? Flip the coin. The good police officers are also going to suffer.
Of course they are. Of course they are. Because that's the problem. It's all right saying you're going to arrest one a week, but are you going to arrest the right ones?
The right ones, yeah.
You know, because in your endeavour to make everything right in the police force, are you going to get rid of some good people because you've got it wrong? And let's face it, people have been prosecuted and they've got it wrong.
Yeah, I mean, this latest one, the one that was holding women captive, I mean, they paid him 60 grand.
No.
Like he'd been done for it. He'd been done for it, and while he was waiting for his outcome, like the trial, they paid him 60 grand.
His wages, yeah.
Now that is that's insane.
And
Right?
I think that was a copper that carried a gun.
Yeah. I know. I saw pictures of him. He looked like an arsehole. He did. You know, you just look at his face. You could imagine him bowling around with his gun in his hand, you know what I mean? Looking like it's really something special. You know?
Look at the size of my gun.
Exactly.
Yeah, but I mean, he's meant to be looking after diplomats and
Do you know what I mean?
like, politicians and that. And then in his free time, he's locking up women in his basement.
Mm-hmm. But, you know, I can remember years ago, I used to move prisoners around, didn't I? And in vans and stuff. I can remember turning up at police stations in East London, and I'd pull up, because I was a lot younger then, obviously, and get out the van, and there would be police officers hanging out the windows at the top, yeah, because their canteen or whatever, going, oh, she is a security guard girl, you know, look at her, you know, and just making innuendos, you know, nothing overtly disgustingly wrong, but innuendos, you know, and it just made me feel really uncomfortable, you know, to get out the van and walk past them. I hated it. I hated it. The prison service is rife with misogyny, rife with people treating women like there's something on the bottom of their shoe, you know.
It's the boys' club, isn't it?
The boys' club. It's a boys' club. It's a man thing, and I'm not saying it's all men, but it's a good majority of men, you know.
I think they put on that uniform. They put on that uniform, and they think they're untouchable. That's the problem.
Yeah, their power. And I personally, I think porn's got a lot to answer for. I really do. I think porn shows women as being a commodity. Do you know what I mean? Something you can pick up, use, and throw away.
Yeah.
But I mean, I was reading something the other day, and that took a massive boost in the pandemic.
Yeah, what porn?
Yeah, I mean, it's like that fella that was just arrested at Andrew Tate.
Mm.
He was an absolute dickhead.
Yeah.
He's like, he moved to Romania during that time, and so he could get girls on cameras and lock them up in a warehouse and make them dance at the night time so he can make money out of them.
Mm.
I mean, I'd hate to be a woman in the Met or any kind of like.
Just a woman in general at the moment.
The army, the Met, anything like that.
Yeah.
It must be horrible.
Yeah, of course it is. Of course it's horrible. And it's deep rooted as well, you know. Really deep rooted.
Female officers don't get paid less, do they?
No.
Not anymore, no.
Not anymore. No.
I mean, you think about the Met. I mean, that's just child abuse and sexual abuse. I mean, you think what else is going on? Like the corruption and all sorts of things like that. You think of what else is.
Oh, I bet the corruption is huge.
Oh, it's
huge.
We don't even know. That's just a smidgen of what's going on.
No, I mean, there was a thing on telly the other day about some coppers that raided an house in Norfolk for someone who was selling weed, and he told them that he had £105,000 that they confiscated, but the coppers only give you 95.
Yeah.
But they didn't believe him.
Right.
They believed the others, but in the end they got found out. But that sort of thing, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I bet that happens every day.
Of course it does. It happens every day.
Well, it's like silly little things where a copper will pull you over and go, "Mate, you didn't indicate there, or you were doing that," and you were like, you know that you did.
Yeah.
But they just want to do something.
I haven't been pulled over by the police. I couldn't tell you. I couldn't tell you the last time before I had kids.
Yeah.
Oh no, it's been a long time.
Speeding, but I've never been pulled over because they thought I'd done something wrong, other than speeding.
No, I mean the only time I've been pulled over is in Mum's car because obviously it's a disability car, and it's only a couple of times. But 9 times out of 10, they're all right when they come to you. But then you get the ones that are just you can just tell.
Yeah, they do.
The first word out of their mouth, you think, oh, it's one of them ones.
Yeah.
So
what did you get pulled over for?
One time was they just wanted to, because they said they run the car and it came back as a woman owner, a woman registered driver, and it was a male driving it. And the second time, Mum had her blue convertible, she reversed into a lorry, didn't she?
Yeah.
And one of the lights was on the blink. It kept flashing.
Yeah.
It was in the night time, so they followed me up and pulled me over for that.
I see.
And that was it.
Yeah.
But it's the same with anyone who puts on a uniform. I think it's the same. You go into a pub and you see a bouncer.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they're terrible as well.
It's the same sort of thing. Do you know what I mean?
And they feel like they're God's gift to women.
And half of them are tossers.
Of course they are.
It's just because they're big.
Oh, totally.
I've got to be honest, I don't think there's enough money in the world to make me want to be a police officer.
No, yeah, definitely not.
No. No,
it's not. You know, it's all paperwork, isn't it? It's not. You don't even see them walking down the street anymore. It's all paperwork and.
Yeah.
Especially the first few months when Tom was a cop, he was coming home every day like someone had just stamped on his cat's head in front of him. He was so not pissed off, but like upset. Just because I think it's because only the first few weeks, the things he was seeing.
Yeah.
I think it must be an hard thing to take to be thrusted into just going to someone's flat because for a wellness check and you go in there and they've been dead 6 weeks. Do you know what I mean? It must be hard to sort of like think, oh shit, this is what I've got to deal with every day.
Yeah. Well, it's tough.
I just couldn't deal with the children thing.
Yeah.
No, it'd be too difficult.
Yeah, I just wouldn't be able to.
Especially imagine going to a house where you know something's wrong, but you can't. You have to walk away.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's that sixth sense thing, isn't it? You know.
Yeah.
I used to get that a lot. I was a midwife, and you'd go in and see people, and you knew if something wasn't right, the atmosphere in the place wasn't right, whatever it was. You know, there was you could just tell the relationship wasn't right, or the connection with the baby wasn't right. You know, but you could never get to the bottom of it sometimes, and you had to kind of just record it and move on. So,
I think if it comes to kids, I just don't think you'd be able to keep your emotions in check. I think I'd lose my rag. Especially if the person's there.
Yeah.
Like you've caught them or something. Do you know what I mean? I don't think you'd be
But police officers are still human. They must just want to like.
So,
oh yeah. And I bet some of them do when there's no one watching. I mean, you see it on them old bill shows. They nick them with no marks on them. They get to the old bill station. They've got a bloody lip.
Yeah.
It's dodgy though, isn't it? Got body cams on and what have you. So
all they've got to do is say they slipped over in the back.
Yeah. Dodgy ground. So what do we think about the black fellow who was killed by the 5 black police officers in America?
I couldn't watch the video. I had to turn it off. It was horrendous.
Oh, it was horrible, wasn't it?
It was horrendous. Especially the bit when he starts crawling out for his mum. I was like, oh.
I know. I mean, what goes on in your head to make you think that it's okay to continue doing what you're doing in that situation? You know, the poor fellas, they're knocking 9 barrels of shit out of him. He's calling for his mum, and in your head you're thinking, let's just punch him some more. Let's just kick him some more.
But they're kicking him, tasing him, pepper spraying him all at the same time. And the initial stop, he stopped his car. They didn't even ask him for his license or anything. They just opened his door, dragged him out onto the floor, and there's 4 of them or 5 of them just literally. It was like a fight outside a pub. And they just.
It's just. I mean, that's got to cause uproar.
But they literally. What they've done is they beat him to death.
Yeah.
That's what.
Well, I think there were riots all over America, weren't there?
But I mean, what's interesting? It was 4 black coppers and a black.
I was just going to say that.
Kid.
I was just going to say that because it's normally, the sad reality is it's normally, let's say it's normally black coppers, isn't it?
Doing it to a black fella. But that is it Dr. Shola, or the one that's with Piers Morgan sometimes as well. I can't remember her name, but she's a Black Lives Matter woman, and she was saying that this is still racism because it's internalized racism because the black police officers are so used to being surrounded by white, I suppose, supremacists, they become racist themselves.
That's mental, isn't it?
I mean, I suppose it depends how deep you think about it, doesn't it?
Yeah. I'm white, so I don't know what it's like to live a black person's life. Do you know what I mean? But Do we need to go any deeper other than these are 5 really nasty pieces of shit whose minds are warped and think that it's okay to go around beating up somebody? Do we need to go any deeper than that in these situations? I don't know. Maybe we do.
I just think it's an epidemic with American police because it happens all of the time.
It does. American police forces have definitely got an issue.
Can you imagine the ones that you don't hear about?
Yeah, of course. There's loads. But there are, I mean, I don't know. I haven't looked at the stats, and maybe I should look. But they do say that actually, if you look at the rate of who gets killed in America, white people tend to get killed more than black people by police. I don't know if that's true.
Yeah, but they're the ones that you don't hear, that you don't,
Because when black men are killed, it's more publicised. It's put out.
Yeah.
So it's like the rage is more. Do you know what I mean? But it's the same as their gun violence. I mean, it's not. It's the end of January. There's been 42 mass shootings since the 1st of January.
When are they going to get a grip on the gun law?
Well, they won't, will they? Because they're a gun-bearing nation. It just won't. It just won't happen.
It's a nation built on religion and guns.
It is. I mean, if you go, the south of America is hugely religious, isn't it? It's
yeah. And I mean, it's not just like your average religion. It's like it's the God Squad. Like,
it is hardcore. I mean, I remember watching a Louis Theroux episode of these people are so obsessed with it. They stand on sides of roads with like
soldiers die and gays die and all that stuff.
Yeah, and I'm like,
they're called the Westboro Baptist Church.
Is that what it is?
Yeah,
it was such a good program. I was literally like jaw dropping. I could not take my eyes off the screen. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe what these people do.
They're famous for doing it, but now what they do now is when they go to a protest or because they do it at soldiers' funerals.
Yes.
Gay men, women, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And what happens now is there's a biker gang. I don't know, one of the biker gangs in America. I don't know what it is, but they go to all these events now, and they rev all their bike engines to drown out the sound of that church.
Right. Okay.
So that the families that are having the funeral can't hear the people shouting out like your son's a faggot and all this sort of stuff.
Yeah, Claire, that's the sort of stuff they're shouting out, and they believe it. Like, I think one of the daughters left though. I think one of the daughters did.
Yeah, because of Louis Theroux.
And she sort of looks back now.
I haven't seen this one.
It's really
good. An old one.
Yeah,
it's an old one, but it's definitely worth a watch. It was really good.
Google it. It's Louis Theroux and the Westboro Baptist Church.
Okay, I'll have a look.
It's definitely worth a watch. Because they're standing on the side of the roads and people are driving past in their cars and they're like abusing them. They just don't care. They do not care. What they're doing.
They're holding up signs like fags burning hell and all this stuff.
Yes. Yeah. I know.
Jesus Christ.
But there's like kids like my girl's age on the side of the road with t-shirts on saying fags go to hell.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I'll tell you what, the world's gone mad at the moment.
You know what it reminds me of, right? It reminds me of that. I've been watching loads of documentaries about that Scientology.
Yeah.
Oh, that's weird, isn't it?
And that is some real like backward.
Is that Tom Cruise's one?
Yeah, but when they're kids, they put them in this thing called a Sea Org. And they take them out of school. They make them sign a 1 billion-year contract.
God.
Because they reckon at the end of your life, you drop your body, you go into this volcano where there's an alien called Xenu. Good. He comes out, gives you a new body, and then you go back on the earth and you'll clean it.
Christ's sake.
Do you ever think, right? You know, with like these weird cults and that, do you ever think, I know we all go, how do you get sucked into that? Yeah. But do you think you could ever be convinced into doing something like that? Like, because these people have normal lives and then join these groups, and then before you know it, they're doing weird things that they would never have done before. How easy is it to get sucked into this stuff?
It's crazy. But for me, if to get sucked into that stuff, you've got to have something seriously missing in your life. Do you know what I mean? It's almost like you need a place to belong. you know, maybe you've not had a great upbringing, maybe you've been abused, maybe you've been bullied, maybe you've got no friends, and you're just looking for something to hook into, something that means that that's yours, that's where you belong, that's your safe space. And I think that's what needs to be in place for you to belong to one of those things, because there's no fucking chance for me. I mean, there's absolutely no chance.
I mean, how you do think like how?
Like that. But the thing is with that Scientology is they market it as a self-help.
Mm-hmm.
Right? But the fella that invented it, his name's L. Ron Hubbard, and he is responsible for the most science fiction books ever written in history.
Who is?
His name's L. Ron Hubbard.
Okay.
And he started Scientology, but no one has ever wrote more words than this man in the human history about aliens. And then all of a sudden he started a religion. And people weren't thinking, he's talking about Xenu and volcanoes exploding.
Yeah. He's probably sat there laughing his fucking head off.
Yeah, and they're all like this.
Following me. You know, and he's making money.
Yeah, but Tom Cruise didn't look at you and think, hold on, Xenu, volcanoes. Because they do it in levels, and they do this thing. It's called going up the bridge, and to get to the bridge of total freedom, there's 9 steps, but it's like 30 grand a step.
Mind you, I have to say, talking about people like Tom Cruise who get caught up in these things, I think that in itself can be lonely. You know, you're unbelievably rich. Everyone adores you. You know, it's like you can walk on water. But I think sometimes that must be the loneliest place to be, because you don't know who actually loves you. Do you know what I
mean? Some people are saying that he just goes there for the privacy, because they made a special building called the Celebrity Centre for Tom Cruise. And then once he joined, John Travolta, Kirstie Alley, all these celebrities like went over, and but it didn't. And then they got a thing in America called tax exempt status. So if you're a religion, you don't pay no tax. But Scientology are responsible for the biggest breach of the US government in history. They got loads of spies and put them in the tax office before they were tax exempt, and they got information on tax officers and blackmailed them. So the government would give them. So the government, in the end, gave them tax exempt status because they were going to release pictures of people and messages and things about people's wives and stuff like that. And now they don't pay no tax, and now there's a big thing in America trying to get it revoked. But they're nuts. I mean, they sign $1 billion-year contracts, and I mean, I deliver to the Scientology building in London, and I mean, the building they own is like a castle. You go in there in the morning. There's never any more than 6 people in there.
Yeah.
The building's worth 25 million.
It's crazy, isn't it?
Nobody ever goes in there, and they said there's only 25,000 Scientologists worldwide.
Bloody hell. So who's got the money?
But people like Tom Cruise that keep donating.
Yeah.
So they're able to go on.
That's
weird. I'd love to go inside and see what happens.
There was another one called Nexium. It was another cult. And do you remember watching that TV show Smallville?
Oh, yeah.
Like Spider-Man. One of the girls that was in that, she joined it. She's in prison now. Because she joined this cult with this fella. She made loads of girls get branded, like actually branded on their hips with his name.
What?
And then basically what they'd done was turned it into a sex cult.
Oh, God.
And she was basically like that Ghislaine Maxwell.
Yeah.
I was just going to say that.
She was going out getting girls, bringing them back to this fella. I mean, he got 125 years in prison, which I don't know why you'd give someone 125 years. But he got 125 years and she got 15.
Good God.
Did you watch that? Sorry, changing the subject slightly and going on to that Ghislaine Maxwell. Did you watch the documentaries?
I didn't.
There's so many. I've watched a couple. I watched the one that's on Netflix.
So good.
What one are you talking about?
So there's the one about the two of them. So there's one mainly about him, but then the one about her. I thought that was quite new, the one about her. I might be wrong. But yeah, the one about her was good.
See, the thing is, and tell me, because you've seen the documentary, so maybe because I almost feel some sympathy for her, because I kind of almost feel like she was wheeled in. She had a really horrible upbringing. She had money, but her dad was a bit weird. you know, and she had quite a horrible upbringing in that way. I kind of feel like she was hooked in as well. But the difference with her was that she was hooked in, and then she was kind of given the role, I suppose, of encouraging these girls in. And it was her place to be. It was where she felt safe and, you know, loved and cared for.
I think everything in her life has been weird. Her dad died in mysterious circumstances, fell overboard naked on his boat, and died. But then they said he was an agent for Mossad, the Israeli, whatever it was. And then she just went off the rails as a socialite, and that's when she met up with that Jeffrey Epstein.
So that's what I mean. I think she was almost trafficked in a way. You know, I mean, he knew what he was going to do with her. He knew what he was going to do with her when he met her. So what did you think after you saw the documentaries?
I didn't have any sympathy for her.
Yeah, but to be fair, that documentary on Netflix paints her out to be like an evil witch. Like they don't really give you much of her background.
Yeah, I suppose. I mean, they just talk about her dad.
Yeah, but I mean, because her dad's newsworthy. But I mean, they never talked about how her dad would abuse her and like physically abuse her, not sexually, but like mentally abuse her and tell her she was ugly and she wasn't his favourite child and all this sort of stuff. Do you know what I mean? And
she had a shitty life. And so I kind of, I do. I feel some sympathy. I mean, that's not excusing what she did. She did what she did. And she has to be punished for that. But I don't think the court gave enough consideration to how she grew up.
I mean, she phoned into that Piers Morgan's TV show on the other day from prison.
Oh, did she? Oh, did you see that one?
Yeah, and you can tell that she's going on all sort of like there was more than Jeffrey involved, and I mean, she must have names going back for years.
Oh, I'm surprised she's still alive.
I mean, even when they said that Jeffrey Epstein killed himself, I was thinking to myself, "There's no way."
No. He was. I mean, he was snuffed out, wasn't he? You know, and I think I'm surprised that she's still alive. Like you said, she's got names and information and dates and times. You know, she could bring down a lot of people.
Did you see the geezer that they put him in prison with?
No.
I'm going to show you. Hold on. Oh, good God! They put him in prison with geezer who was an ex-copper. Who was like. Who was in prison for killing like 11 people.
Yeah.
And tucked in this room and said, like, see you later.
Yeah. Good luck.
And
can you share it on the screen?
Yeah. And then a couple of days later, he was dead.
Yeah. Not suspicious then.
No, in the slightest. So, look, hold on. Here he is. What a beast of a man.
You got this.
Yeah, hold on. Here we go.
When you're ready, any minute now.
Yeah.
And you see that geezer next to him?
Oh, pack it in.
That's what they put him in a cell with, and then a day later he was dead.
Yeah, not surprising then.
Yeah.
And then they came in of a night time, moved that big geezer out, and said, "Oh no, look, he's killed himself."
Yeah. What a load of rubbish.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're having a laugh.
Yeah, that's right. Because it's too dangerous to people, you know. I mean, I suppose in a way, I don't know. The Andrew Tate. Could this be dodgy for him? Because what is that cult thing that he keeps talking about?
Oh, it's his own thing. He's like it's a grift. Basically, he's getting like young fellas who have got no luck with women.
Yeah.
Have got nothing going for them, and he's saying to them like he'll pump them up, he'll get them going, he'll teach them how to do this, do that.
Yeah,
but pay me 30 quid a month.
Yeah. All right then.
And there's about 3 million dickheads across the world that have done it.
That are doing it, yeah.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah.
But they wanted him gone because he's just causing trouble.
Yeah.
I mean, they needed him quiet. But same as that, I mean, when you looked at that interview with Prince, what's his name, Andrew?
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
That woman, and he said, "No, I've got a sweating disease." You think, what on earth are you talking about?
That was so bizarre. That interview was, I couldn't even, it was cringeworthy.
Halfway through, I was thinking, you might as well pull out the gun now, put it in your mouth.
Yeah, that's right.
Just blow your head off.
There was another interview like that recently, and you thought that was a big mistake. Who was interviewed recently and it was really bad? Oh, God. Oh, I've got to forget now. I'll have to think.
But the thing is,
wasn't Harry? Wasn't Harry, was it? Wasn't Prince Harry, was it?
Yeah, well, there was Prince Harry, because that wasn't too clever either, was it, really, what he did? But
did you watch the document? Did you watch the Netflix documentary, the Harry and Meghan?
No, I couldn't bother.
Oh, I did. I got sucked in. I got totally sucked in.
I think they're a pain in the arse. I think they just need to disappear, go and live their lives in California and get on with it, personally.
Yeah, that was cringe. That was cringe, whatever that was, and they just done that for a few quid.
Yeah, I think they've really sold their family out. I think it's quite disgusting, but everyone's got a different viewpoint. I mean, I just know that when she first came, for me, I thought it was a breath of fresh air for the royal family, and I think most people did. So I don't recognise what they're describing, but they're obviously it's their perspective, I suppose. But I just don't recognise what they're describing. So.
Have you watched? I know it's not real life. Before you go,
no, I haven't. The Crown.
Yeah.
No.
Oh, do you know what? The royal family doesn't. I don't feel either way about them. No. Like, don't like them, don't dislike them. But oh my God, it's so good. Like, I'm literally at the end of series 5 nearly, and then some of it is true, and then it's not until you look back and you think, sod being in that family.
Oh yeah, I mean the only one I liked was the Queen, and she died.
Christ almighty! I
mean, who would want to do it? I mean, okay, I'm sure it's lovely to be wined and dined and spoiled and live in luxury and all of that. But I mean, who wants to live in a goldfish bowl your whole life?
But as the Queen, she's actually got no power to make any decisions. No,
it's not her.
None.
And I mean, it's just like when Harry and Meghan decided to go, I didn't feel bad. I just thought, good luck to them. The royal family, it's not for them.
No,
that's it. They've made the right decision.
Yeah.
But the fact that they keep coming back just to rip a little bit more, a little bit more, I think is just is quite.
Just go and be quiet.
Just
yeah.
Go,
live
happy,
your life.
Live your life. It's fine. You're not going to tear the family down.
He still wants all the trappings of it. He wants the police protection, and he wants like the. I can understand it. He's worried for his kids and that because he will always be Prince Harry. But then putting in a book that I shot 25 Taliban.
Yeah, I know.
Or whatever it was. I don't know why you would do that.
No, it's shy. But yeah, so I just think that they've not done themselves any favours, really. And I'm a bit like you, Em. I kind of the royal family I can take or leave, but actually I like the history. I like the fact that we've got a history.
We've got a monarchy, and we've got a lot of history, and
I like that. Yeah. Despite what people feel about colonialism, I still like the fact that we're a country with a history. I do. Sorry, but I do. And
it's nice.
It's nice. It's nice, and I'm proud to be British, English. I am.
It's how much that wine you drunk?
Yeah,
there was a lot in there.
I'm proud to be British.
Talk about the royal family. It comes around full circle. Jeffrey Epstein. He was with all them. He was sitting in the Queen's back garden having tea.
I know. Well, that's Andrew, isn't it? Bringing them all into the fold, I suppose. But
the other day, I come across a video on YouTube, and it was they call them urban explorers.
Yeah.
And these kids, they broke into it's abandoned, but it's a massive mansion, country house of Jeffrey Epstein somewhere in England, up near Grantham.
Oh, okay.
And it's a massive, massive mansion, and it's obviously been raided by the police, and they go inside and everything's tipped upside down, and he's got all old photos in there. They just go through his house and they find antique guns and all sorts, just exactly how he left it. Pictures of Ghislaine on the wall, like half naked.
No. What's that, a program?
It's on YouTube. It's just an Urban Explorers YouTube channel.
Oh, okay.
And all sorts of weird stuff. Bill Clinton, photos of Bill Clinton on the wall, like paintings of Bill Clinton and stuff like that. It's weird. Because they found it.
It's just been left.
Yeah, because it's obviously still in his estate.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, it's like when they raided his house in like the Virgin Islands, that island that he owned, that Epstein Island, and they found there was photos of Bill Clinton dressed up in a bird's cocktail dress.
Oh, for God's sake!
Do you know what I mean? And he's telling everyone that he only travelled on that plane twice, and then when they got the logs, it was more like 36 times.
Mm-hmm. Oh, they're all deep bastards.
Yeah. And he had a plane fitted out. With 2 double bedrooms built into the back of it.
All to gynophiles. It's a paraphilia.
There you go.
There you go. Who saw Nicola Sturgeon on telly? That was funny. Nicola Sturgeon. Did you not see her interview with an ITV fella? Because like they sent all these not all these. There's 2. There's more, but there's 2 that are in the news. To prisons. One of them raped 2 women with his penis, and then decided he was a woman and got sent to a woman's prison. And initially, Nicola Sturgeon's like, well, trans women are women, blah blah blah. But because there was an uproar, they had to backturn and they pulled him out of there and put him in segregation, waiting for re-evaluation and what have you. But she's on ITV News and she is like tripping up her words. So this interviewer was saying to her, so are trans women women? And she said, yes, they are. I can't remember it verbatim.
I know, yeah.
Trans women, yes, they are. But unless they're in prison with other women. She went, well, no, they're still women. He said, but they're not woman enough to be in a woman's prison. Well, no, because you have to take, not all trans women are women then, And she's like really just, it was hilarious to watch.
I do you know what argument? I think that's such a it's like, is a man a man? Well, or I don't see that when people say, yeah, but they identify as, I just don't get it. I don't get it.
I just think, if you want to be, if you're identify as what you like, just don't shove it down my throat.
No, that's right. And I do think women need safe spaces. I think women need their own spaces. And the danger in Scotland with their new bill and self-ID is that any predatory man, and look at what's going on for women. Look how many women are murdered. Do you know what I mean? Any predatory man can turn around and say, oh, I'm a woman, and walk into the women's changing rooms. Yeah. Or I'm sorry, but it's wrong. Yeah. It's wrong. I mean, unfortunately, life's a bitch, and we don't always get everything that we want. Do you know what I mean? I want to walk, but I can't. It's not going to happen for me. If you're a man, you can't actually become a woman. You can tinker about with things and change the way you look and have surgery or whatever. You can do all those things and you can live life as a woman, but you can't actually be a woman.
Yeah,
you're never going to have sex. It's not going to happen.
If my mum had wheels, she'd be a bike.
Well, exactly.
What's that from?
Exactly. If my dad had a uterus, he'd be my mum.
Yeah. I nicked that from Gino D'Acampo.
Did you?
Gino D'Acampo. I knew I'd heard that line before.
Yeah, I nicked that from him. So.
Yeah,
but the life's weird at the moment. Yeah. I do feel like you, Em. I just live how you want to live. Do you know what I mean? Identify how you want to identify. But unfortunately, you have to know the restrictions.
Yeah,
you have to. You can't be a man in women's sport.
Yeah,
there are things you can't do.
Yeah, you wouldn't have a man box a woman.
Well, that's the problem. There has been in MMA type fighting.
Yeah.
There has been men fighting women because that man's identified as a woman.
Okay, imagine getting beat by her and all your mates going, you got done by a woman.
Oh, I would hope that did happen, but I don't suppose it did. But these things are happening. But anyway.
The world's gone mad.
Well, that's gone mad. It's
we'll
just
have
not what we used to know.
What we'll do next time when we all come on, we'll just all get drunk.
Yeah, it's a good idea because you two don't really say too much about your opinions. I've got to be honest.
We'll just all get drunk.
Boring, really. You haven't got fuck all to say.
Look at her, just slurring. Look.
I think that. Fucking come on.
You've said plenty.
You're supposed to say.
We have said plenty. I'm just trying not to offend after
Yeah,
all in the first one. Uh-oh.
That's the thing, Bill. You've hit the nail on the head there. No one wants to say anything.
Yeah, but why?
But the thing is, it's
yeah, but stand up. People have got to start standing up because this is the problem. You know, whatever you believe, you might have a completely different opinion to me, but at some point, people have got to have the balls to stand by what they think. You know, because I don't know. It is beginning to get quite frustrating, really.
Yeah,
I was in college the other week, and I've spoken to everybody individually, and everybody feels the same way as I do about certain things. But when the opportunity came up and I started speaking about it, did any of the bastards back me up?
Yeah,
no, they just stood back there with their mouth shut, and I can't do that anymore. I won't do that anymore.
The only reason I say that is because obviously, with going up on YouTube, it has certain rules.
It does have certain rules. But, you know, those rules are not right.
I'll make you right. They're not right. But if you want your content to stay up, there are rules you have to follow.
Yeah.
Oh, well, YouTube, come and see me. We'll discuss it.
I shall send you a list of the no-nos after, Clara.
Yeah, send me a list of the no-nos. He's making hand gestures, the no-no.
Yes, because you've broke every one of them today.
I have not. How have I? Seriously, have I?
So a couple of things.
What, like? Tell me.
Well, I might as well say them now. But like, you can't mention the word sex.
Can you not?
Murder, suicide.
Right.
You can say them, but you've got to describe them. So if I was to say someone was killed or whatever, I'd say they're not living anymore.
So if someone commits suicide, you can't say they commit suicide?
No, because it's all to do with the monetization. Your video gets like pushed down and further down the list.
Jesus.
It's weird. It is weird, but I've been researching all this.
Mum said you've been all over this, Bill.
Yeah, I have. So I'm glad you came on pissed for the first one.
Yeah, you're welcome. I'll try and be sober for the next. I will. I'll be sober for the next one.
But we'll have to sort out.
I'll try not to say all those words you just said.
Yeah, all right.
Like the Venable Call. Don't say bugger.
That's it. But I mean, people do it, but it's obviously people that have got massive followings, so no matter whether they get.
Well, we will have to say hopefully.
Oh yeah.
If you haven't offended,
we've got 0 people.
We need to work out something that makes us different to everyone else, though, because you can't. I think if we just sort of like talk and there are lulls, you know, periods of silence and whatever, I don't think it'll work.
All be pissed.
Well, no, we don't have to all be pissed. That's just being silly, Bill. You know, I think one pissed person is enough.
That's
true. So. Someone's going to sleep really well tonight.
But we'll think of something.
I've not been sleeping well lately.
We need to come up with like a gimmick or something.
Yeah, exactly. You know,
like some sort of I don't know. I'll think of something.
Yeah. Let's do that.
So should we call it quits then for tonight? And
we'll call it quits.
Yeah,
and we'll do it again next Tuesday.
Yeah. Next Tuesday.
I'll see you next Tuesday.
See you next
Tuesday.
Cheerio, everyone. Bye.
Cheerio, everyone. Bye.